Station, this is Buzzfeed. How do you hear me?
We've got you loud and clear. How do you hear us?
I think we're good. So, hey guys, hey Scott, hey Terry. I'm excited to have the chance to speak with you guys on behalf of Buzzfeed News. Now, as you know, today is a big day for NASA, and we're celebrating 50 years of Mission Control Houston, as well as the 50th anniversary of the spacewalk. And a lot of firsts have happened in those 50 years. You know, the first space flight, the first spacewalk, a man on the moon, and now we have the first espresso machine in space. So it sounds like you guys need coffee every morning just like the rest of us.
Yeah, that's been a fun thing. Scott and Samantha enjoy coffee, and it's been pretty unique to have an espresso machine. Unfortunately, we can't have it every day. There's a limited supply, and we're trying to save a few maybe for the next crew that comes up. But that's definitely been a pretty cool first in space.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the taste and the smell of that? Does it taste the same, or does it smell the same as down here on Earth?
Yeah, I think they did a great job on the machine. I guess anyone who knows about making espresso, it's pretty complicated. It has high temperatures, high pressures, and I think they got it right. I'm not a big drinker of espresso on the ground, but I've had it before, and it tastes pretty good. Had a little frothiness on the top and everything, so it was a real treat.
Now, Terry, you've been aboard the space station for several months now. Are you able to maintain a cultural connection with Earth as far as entertainment goes? You know, sports, music, movies, etc.
Yeah, we're in our 7th month now with Anton and Samantha here. And one of the best ways that I've connected with Earth recently has been watching baseball. The Houston will ship up usually yesterday's baseball game, or occasionally if it's an early day game, they'll send up a live game when we have satellite coverage, which is about half the time. So that's been a lot of fun for me on Earth. I love keeping track of some of my favorite teams, the Orioles and the Astros. And so that's been really important to keep in touch. And we got a new TV screen. There's a big screen projector in one of our modules. And usually on Saturday nights, we'll watch a movie together with the crew, or we'll watch like the daily news down there on that. And so that's another good way to keep a part of Earth up here in space with us.
And Scott, with you just being a few months into your year-long stay on the space station, how do you prepare yourself emotionally and physically for being up there that long? Do you get homesick? Does your body have to adjust?
You know, I don't know if homesick's the right word, but there's certainly things you miss on Earth when you're up here for an extended period. Mostly the people that you love, your friends, your family. Also things like the weather. Even though there's been a lot of bad weather in Houston and Texas lately, and we certainly feel for those people, and our thoughts are with them. We do miss that, the rain, the wind. Things like that. But for me, having lived here before for about 6 months, I knew what to expect. So I'm trying to pace myself, keep things in the right perspective, and hopefully I'll have pretty much the same attitude at in March at the end of this flight as I do right now.
Now, yeah, Scott, so you were talking a little bit about Mars and how that would affect the human body. Are there any weird things that space that you expect to happen to your body in a year being up there in space?
Well, there are things that we know happen, and things that we know the causes of them. For instance, the microgravity environment affects our bone mass, our muscle mass, and it's for the reason that our bodies are very smart, and they kind of recognize that up here you don't really have a need for that much bone mass and muscle mass, so it kind of gets rid of it. But we can mitigate those effects with exercise. And so far we've been able to do that very well. People coming back from long-duration flights on the space station generally increase their muscle mass, with regards to their bone mass, a lot of them stay the same. A few have increased it. Some have lost, but we know and understand that. The radiation effects affect us on kind of a more cellular level, with potential damage to our DNA, RNA, proteins, things like that. One of the experiments, or some of the experiments that are comparing me to my brother in this so-called twin study, involve research in that specific area. There's also effects on our immune system. And then a new thing we found in the last several years is an effect on our vision. And we were just doing an experiment in the Russian segment today where we're doing, and yesterday, doing ultrasound scans on our vessels in our head, our eyes, other imaging techniques, while using this lower body negative pressure device that the Russians use to readapt, or to get ready to readapt to Earth. So it's the first time an American astronaut has done this on the space station, me, and we had some very advanced imaging techniques and a very interesting and sophisticated experiment going on there for the last 2 days to understand this issue with our eyes and how to protect against it.
And now our next question is from some of our Buzzfeed news readers, and one of the best questions that we came across was for Terry. How much time do you spend there in the observation cupola, and what are your top 3 favorite views on Earth?
Well, the answer to the first question is not enough time. Usually it's in between activities. If you got a couple minutes, you run down and see if there's something interesting out there and take a picture. And top 3 is really hard to come up with. I think I need a Letterman top 10 here. The auroras are something really amazing. There was one particular night where we had a southern aurora, and we flew basically through it and over top of it, and even farther south than the northernmost part of it. And you could see this thing dancing around and moving kind of second by second as we flew over it. That was truly amazing. I kind of like sunrises and sunsets. The sunrise itself is amazing how fast it happens, and the speed, it kind of depends on if the sun's on the off to our side or in front of us. But watching the other modules on the station go from black to bright white in just a few seconds is pretty amazing to me. And a third sight that I love to see is on Earth, these islands with reefs, especially like the Bahamas or in the Caribbean, in the Pacific Ocean. We just flew over the east coast of Africa, and there's really green, blue, kind of shades of blue that I had never really seen before. And I love seeing those types of island reefs and shallow water is pretty amazing. But 3 is not enough. I think a lifetime of looking down on creation is not enough time to see all this stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now I think we're going to have to wrap this up soon. Now, Scott, one more question. We're going back to exercise and fitness. How do you guys stay in shape? Do calories burn slower or faster in space?
A lot of people say they think that you burn more calories here. Some people think less. One thing we all do is we seem to exercise more than we do on Earth. In my case, twice a day, 6 days a week, aerobic exercise and weightlifting. We have this great resistive exercise device that uses air cylinders and air pressure to make it feel like we're actually lifting real weight. And we also have a treadmill that works very well, and a cycle ergometer or bicycle. There's also some exercise equipment on the Russian segments that the cosmonauts use. They also use our resistive exercise device. But it really works great, and it's really testament to the engineering team and the exercise specialists we have on the ground helping us protect our health on these long-duration missions.
Excellent. That's great. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy day to talk to Buzzfeed News, and good luck on the rest of the expedition.
Thank you. It was great talking to you guys today.